happened. Also, some of the aspirants, even after the delegates arrived, took time to go round to do their mopping up and final campaign, as we see there. And then also you had some of the national executives as well who went round to speak to the delegates finally. And then we also had one of the things that happened, quite crucial, the omission of a very, very important part of the statement, which has also generated some concerns amongst the party, was that the general secretary of the party, who is the CEO of the party, was supposed to give an account and a statement of his tenure over the 4-year period. And then also the national treasurer was supposed to give a statement on the party's financials. Because of the time, that did not happen. And that also got some of the supporters and the delegates who are here talking. As we do know now, the TESCON members have been injuncted. So TESCON members are not taking part in this voting. They are not delegates. Proxy voters have also been injuncted. Now, I've been joined here by a man who has served in various capacities in the party, but currently he is a minister in charge of local government, rural development, and decentralization. The Honorable Botwe is with me here. I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Great. Now, we've seen, because of the delay in the start of the program, the General Secretary was supposed to give an account of what has happened over the period, and then also the treasurer of the party. We didn't see that. Speaking to the delegates, they were quite concerned. What do you have to say about this?
I'm not so sure where the concern is, because you have to look at the situation. Once they did not start the process early, you cannot have a discussion of the General Secretary's report, because when he reads his report, there should be a discussion. There should be a discussion. Somebody will have to move for the acceptance of the report. Where we hold these conferences, it's going to be very difficult for you to do that. And the anxiety where people are going to vote. And if we had started earlier at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, then maybe they could have squeezed it in. But you bear with me that when we start this process after 4 o'clock, it's going to be very difficult for you to do that. Then again, the treasurer also has to give his report. When he gives his report, people have to ask questions. So just imagine, people will start sitting here and others were sitting at that place. In this very stadium, I'm unable to see how you're going to discuss a treasurer's report and say that I didn't understand this account that was moved from here to this place, this expenditure explained. Before we all get to accept it and move a motion and accept it and adopt it before we move on, it was going to be very difficult. Moving forward, the National Council is the next highest body after delegates conference. What I suspect will happen, that the next National Executive meeting, they will call for a National Council meeting who will take these reports and then discuss them.
You have served as an executive of the party, so you know the processes. I mean, you've just outlined a very legitimate difficulty, but they put it on the program lineup. This was something that was supposed to happen.
Because constitutionally, that's how it should be. There's no way you can have a delegates conference where you won't put those things there. So you have to put them there. But after you have put them there, if you're able to start the process early, because these constitutional injunctions, whether you are having elections or not, you still have to do it. If we had a normal delegates conference without elections, then you can imagine that would have been the only thing that we're going to do. Welcome address, chairman's welcome address, and then general secretary's report and treasurer's report. We have to spend time, maybe 1 hour or more each on these reports, discuss them, then draw resolutions out of them, then move on. That's what happens at a normal delegates conference. But we have a delegates conference, which is also a time to do elections. I admit at times it can pose a problem.
Now, we have the TESCON and then the proxy voters injuncted. There's an injunction on them. They're not taking part. Do you know exactly what led to this?
No, I don't know. I heard it when I got here. But if the court has injuncted it, we have to obey what the court says.
You are here to elect people whom, according to your party, would want to lead the quest to break the 8. What kind of leadership are you expecting out of this particular Congress?
Well, in these days, the people have gone around the country so many times. I'm sure those who wanted to become chairman or for that matter secretary in the position for the past 2 years have been campaigning. And the last 4 weeks or 6 weeks have been very intense campaigning. Almost all the serious ones have met all the 275 constituencies, sat down with them, visited them. At times they will zone, bring 3 or 4 constituencies together, I spoken to them at length to explain their manifesto, what they stand for, their strategies. And so you expect that today, those who will be able to convince delegates are those who will be elected. But I know that individual people who are elected as national officers are important. But if you know the NPP constitution very well, we have a steering committee. There's no way that you say that only national officers should meet. No, it's a steering committee. It will have the national officers, it will have the parliamentary leader, it will have council of elders, and when we have a presidential candidate or a president, the president and the vice will all be part of it. So beyond that, we have national executive. And in many cases, it's the national executive that takes decisions for the national officers to implement. So it's important. All regional executives, chairmen are part of the national executives. All other heads of various institutions are also part of the national executive. And when we meet, and we have even chapter leaders, like any chairman of a parliamentary committee is part of the national executive. So very expanded body. And we meet and take decisions. So yes, it is important to have officers. Because for example, if anything happens in NPP now, you rush to the chairman or general secretary to speak. It should be somebody who understands the party, who understands the mood of the party at any particular time, who is so, it's a clearing house. You should know whatever is happening in all the regional centers of the party, regional executive. And then as much as possible to understand what is happening in each constituency. And then when we take decisions at the national executive or national council, it also has to go to the national secretary. So this should be somebody who is very dynamic, who understands the party ideology, what we stand for, knows the history, and know where we are going. These are people who should be elected as national officers.
I see. But it is not going to be just about today's election. The people who are going to be elected, no matter how competent they are, they will still have to ride on the achievement, the performance of the party in power, the government for that matter, going into the 2024 elections. And that's crucial because the competence of these people will also be impacted by the performance of the likes of you in power. Are you in the right position to break the 8 to win the 2024?
Oh yes, I'm very confident about that.
What informs your confidence?
I'm very confident because I believe that the government is pursuing an agenda that will satisfy majority of Ghanaians come 2024. I'm very confident on that. We still have a lot to do. I can understand that we all know what is happening to the global economy and all that is happening.
So can we blame the global economy alone for what we are going through?
Nobody have said that. Yes. Yes. For us, it is the main thing. That is what has disturbed the running of the affairs of the country for now.
But it is not the only thing.
You cannot, as it were, ignore that. It's a major thing. How can something happen in this world? And all major countries have been affected. You have the head of World Food Program. You have the head of the IMF. You have the head of the World Bank. You have major world economies are all complaining, saying the same thing. In Ghana, you say, don't say it. And I'm unable to get that where that argument is coming from.
So, you see...
I'm unable to get it. So, but be it as it may, the fact that such turbulence has happened does not mean that we will not be able to ride it. That shows that our method. That shows that we are good managers of the economy and of the country. And I am very confident that we'll be able to do that.
So the point is that it's not just about the global factors and its impact on us as an economy. Yes, the impact of the global situation is being felt. Yes. But the chorus that the Ghanaian people are saying that this government is singing is that you are overflocking the impact of this global pandemic. There are other local factors that has contributed to where we are now.
When people bring out the factors, we have been a listening government and we listen to ourselves. When you go to meeting, never think that we go to cabinet or we go to party meeting and we just go there and sing one chorus. No. I wish at times it's even possible for somebody to put there with a secret camera and get to know what happens at cabinet. No. We talk, argue among ourselves very fiercely.
You raise arguments.
We raise arguments.
Some of the issues.
And reports come. That is why I have been General Secretary and I'll start in cabinet. The chairman sat in cabinet. General Secretary of the party will sit in cabinet. So they come with the views of what is happening on the ground. And our party people want us to win. So they are very genuine and they are very sincere and tell us the truth, what is happening. No, not at all. Let nobody think that we think it's all rosy. No. But that's what leaders are elected to do, to make sure you manage the difficult situations and turn it out to make sure that at the end of the day you satisfy the aspirations of the people. So nobody should think that we are saying that, oh, it is only the global economy and therefore we are not having nothing to do. Why not? We always review what we go on. We review our programs and we review ourselves. There's always peer review. So let nobody think that among ourselves we don't criticize ourselves, we don't know what is happening in the country. But I don't think there's anybody, be you media or civil society, anybody who thinks that he knows what is happening in the country more than some of us. No.
So the reflection of your peer review should be seen in the decisions that are taken, isn't it? And that's what the Ghanaian people are expecting.
I take a step to what you mean by Ghanaian people.
You don't know the sentiments, yes, the sentiments of the situation on the ground.
Very well.
You hear the complaints about how biting the economy is and the impact that is having.
Exactly, I do. Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
You do.
Why not? Why not? We live in a society. Our sisters, our wives, our mothers go to the same market. So how can we buy the same fuel? How can you say you don't realize? But I'm saying that we realize it. So you bring in strategies and plans to overcome it. That's the whole essence of leadership. I don't think that TBT doesn't have problems. So when you're management, you meet, you don't discuss problems.
So we do.
And then surprise. You go on retreat. You go on retreat. What do you go on retreat for? To discuss that we set our agenda to do this. From January to March, this first quarter, have we been able to achieve that? If we have not, where did we go wrong? Then we go back and bring in new ideas to overcome them. That is what we do.
So you had, for instance, you were very sure that you're not going to go to IMF because of the e-levy. The concerns that were raised about the e-levy, you went ahead, you implemented it. We've seen the outcome.
Yes.
Clearly, you've not achieved the revenue targets. Yes. Even though those red signs and the red flags were there, concerns were raised, but you ignored. And this is where we are. You've gone to the IMF now.
What was the alternative for raising revenue? What was the alternative?
You sealed the loopholes.
Yes, but as you seal the loopholes, you still have to think about new ways of raising revenue. And we thought the e-levy was one of them, and we still pursue it. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I hear some of these chorus and at times I wonder that what people are talking about. Because nobody, other from you, the media, the civil society, the opposition, have been able to come up with new ideas of raising revenue, which has not been tried.
We were just talking about one.
Name one to me. Name one.
You decided to abolish the tolls, which was giving us revenue.
Yes.
And you agree with that?
Yes. So is that a new idea?
It was an idea. It was an idea. I was just coming to a point. I was just coming to a point. It was an idea that was there.
Yes.
It was generating us revenue. You decided to go away with it and then come in with a revenue stream which had its own problems.
There was going to be a lot of fuel increase. People were going to complain. So we felt that to add this to the drivers, maybe it's a way of pushing them. That was what we thought. But as I keep saying, nobody has come out of, I'm yet to hear of any fresh idea from any quarters about how we could have raised revenue in these difficult times. But be it as it may, they are not in power. We are in power and we accept it. And that's why we are trying all means, drawing all strategies to meet. We're in Pedroasi for the past 4 days. We're thinking, we're planning. We agree that we have to go to IMF. It's not a difficult decision to make. But it's in the interest for Ghanaians.
Are you going to review some of the government programs?
It depends on what happens after the negotiation. Anything we do will be persuaded by what to be in the interest of the generality of the broad mass of the people of Ghana. That is what is going to persuade us to take any decision. Not about our pride, because that is not important. What is important is what will help the average Ghanaian. And if it means that things that we say we will not do, but after a careful reflection, it becomes necessary for us to rethink about it, re-strategize, and use it. And that will help the Ghanaian wind up. That's not what Ghanaian is looking for. That's what the Ghanaian is looking for.